Hi everyone, we're here today to show you how to get some zest in your step with one of our amazing products. This product helps your energy levels, your focus, it curbs your cravings, and definitely improves your mood.
It contains green tea extract, which it gives you energy all day long, niacin that turns food into energy, chromium, and that helps curb your cravings, alpha GPC and PEA. Those are both nootropic, which means they work on the brain and they help both your memory and your mood. And then L-theanine, which is very calming to the brain.
So if you would like to grab some zest for yourself, look at Linda's link below.
Talk to you later. Bye.
Bye.
Check out the new Time Stop Ultra Carbon Shield Antioxidant Face Cream. It's a revolutionary anti-aging moisturizing cream that keeps you looking young, healthy, and vibrant. Right now, it's 40% off, and you can check it out until the supply runs out. I use this every day. I use it under my makeup. It leaves my face looking glowy, and the makeup goes on smoother, and it's a great aid. And I know that there's something good and natural going on in there. And you can get it right now at redpillliving.com/snarky, 40% off. Everybody, how's everybody doing? Well, here is my snarky broadcast news and also more viewer mail coffees. And, I want to always thank my PayPals and channel upgrades. So let's start. Let's get started. Well, it starts with this guy. So I think the best thing I read about this guy is in the comments section on one of the articles about how everybody's leaving New York. Now, they're not even waiting to find out. I think he's been on such a downward spiral that this is just like the last straw for a lot of people, and especially people with money, which happens to be exactly what he needs in order to make his communist regime work. Look, this guy's never had a job. He's never had a job. Never. Let me put this in proper perspective. In a sea of beings that are unemployable. So he sinks all the way down to the bottom now. Some of these people may be unemployable, but at least they've tried. At least they've gotten a job. This guy's never had a job. So you can only imagine the mess that is going to ensue. And the Democrats are saying, we've got our songs together and everything. We have our protests, which are very, very young-minded. Trump, your kingdom come and must come down. Trump, your kingdom must come down. Oh, I heard the people say, your kingdom must come down. Hatred, your kingdom must come. Excuse me. Your kingdom must come down. Racism. You know what gets me is they've invented this whole thing. Your invented racism must come down. No, your invented racism. You invented it. There's no racism, you... I've got to choose my words carefully here. You mentally retarded clowns. You shriveled up old prunes with purple hair. You warbling, barely alive, wanna be back at Woodstock on acid. Postmenopausal bimbos, although I see you brought some of your hormonally deficient, ugly young people who go out of their way to be unattractive. Your kingdom, poverty, your kingdom must come down. When did they ever say that? When did they ever help? When did Democrats ever help? Poverty, you caused the poverty, you ninnies. You pink pussy hat wearing ninnies. You're a laughing joke. God. Oh, greed, your kingdom must come down. Yeah, they want their lawfare back. When the counting's done, it's going to be trillions that they've stolen. Remember, the Democrats take the cake. Your greed must come down. Talk about mirror. They're talking about themselves. That's what I like about it. It's a song about them. God, they're ugly. And they're just not intelligent. They've been brainwashed like no other because they're so needy. They want to be doing something. I heard somebody call it what did she call it again? Like it's a disease. It really is. It's a white female savior complex. Rich white female savior complex. All these Democrat females have it. They want to be the savior of the black man. Who told you to do that, though? They don't know. They're not going to. No one did. My moral did because his greed must come down. Well, what about your Wayfair or lawfare? I'm sorry. Well, what about your Wayfair, too, while we're talking about it? Anyway, these people drive me crazy in a lot of ways, but then I just write down funny things, and I'm going to share them with you. Let's go back here. This is the issue, that all these white women voted for him in New York. They probably came from other cities. They don't even live there. They cheat. And there is a lot of videos coming out now saying that we now have proof that they cheated. So stay tuned for that. But here's my take on this whole thing. Well, first of all, one of my favorite things that somebody wrote in the comments section, which I have to be real careful when I read the comments section because there's a lot of assholes out there. This guy's comment, I can't, I wish I'd screen captured it, but it said, this guy looks like something Jimmy Kimmel crapped out. It was my thought exactly because I thought I recognized Rashida Tlaib's pussy on this guy's face. If that's the case, maybe she's manufacturing them and giving them away. Because, listen, the reason I'm making this joke so much is because that Kim Kardashian came out with fake pussy pants. They're like pants that have hair in the... I wonder why they're doing that. It's because they're all freaking had their wanks cut off. Their nubs. When they fall in love, they really fall in nub. These people are so upside down. It's fair game, fair game. Tough love, tough love. So I have speaking of tough love, I don't even think about it too seriously. You know why? Because I came up with a theory last night. Squeeze all the problems into just a few city miles. Hotspots like Chicago, where they're all going anyway. They're all going there. So New York, who do you think's going to go to New York when he, defunds the police? Who do you think's going to go there? He welcomes illegals. They're all going to go there. Well, that would be a good time to arrest and rescue. You know what I mean? Let's corral them all in one place. Not literally. Let them go themselves. I have lots of ideas about that, too. As far as the border issue, you could have a building that used to be a warehouse, so it's pretty strong. And all you have to do is put free donkey show on the side, and you could get a lot of illegals that way, I think. And also, as far as Antifa goes, pretty soon we're going to have to bring out the trash masher. I'm not talking about hurting them or anything, just threatening with it. Like holding their faces up to it and telling them to stop. That might work. I'm just saying. Like maybe we could bring some cowboys out from the West. You know how they like to lasso cattle? Maybe they could just get on a Hummer, take your lasso, start reeling them in, and just drag them through the city until they're outside the city lines, dump them somewhere, and see if they make their way back. I also thought of tar and feathering, but I think we ought to hold that off for the for him and for Nancy Pelosi and people like that. Did you see that horribly degenerated witch screaming at the president? Why are you doing Republican talking points? Are you working for the other side? No, you have two sides, Nancy. You have the Democrats and the Republicans. You get to be asked questions. I wonder which version of that is her, that they're parading around like that. Anyway, I don't want to get mad, but she irritates me. She really does.
Self-fulfilling prophecy. You demonize, and then we call it the wrap-up smear. If you want to talk politics, you call it the wrap-up smear. You smear somebody with falsehoods and all the rest, and then you merchandise it. And then you write it, and they'll say, see, it's reported in the press that this, and this. So they have that validation that the press reported the smear, and then it's called the wrap-up smear. Now I'm going to merchandise the press's report on the smear that we made. And it's a tactic, and it's self-evident. But I think I'm worth the trouble.
Well, first of all, she comes from a mafia family. Her family is a crime syndicate. She's born into a crime family, okay? They're gangsters. That's why everybody's afraid of her. They're afraid of her family. So she was born into a crime family. And who owns Goat Hill Pizza, which is just like Comet Pizza and all the other pizza. Goat Hill Pizza. Look at the name, Goat Hill. Goat Hill. There is a Goat Hill in San Francisco, and you can bet it has occult connotations. There's some story out there about why it was called Goat Hill. I've read it in old newspapers. Goat Hill has been around for a while. But then again, San Francisco is a totally satanic city. So is Chicago. So yeah, they just make it desirable for them all to go to New York. And then that's when you bring the military in. You circle the whole damn city. You arrest all of them. You have flights leaving out of JFK and LaGuardia. And it's done and dusted. And you ship them to wherever you want to. I don't care. I don't care if you ship them all to where you sent the Maryland dad. Can you believe? All right, lots of news to go through. Do I have any ideas about dealing with these protesters? Let's see, Trash Masher. So Dick Cheney supposedly died. I don't know what that means, actually. But he's out of the picture. Let's put it that way. He's not in the picture anymore. And all I know about Dick Cheney, remembering Dick Cheney, yeah, I remember he blew his friend's face off hunting one day. No, 1,000 times no. Here, let's look it up. All right. Accidentally shot his friend Harry Whittington in the face while they were quail hunting in Texas. I'm sorry. I call, no. I never did believe he accidentally shot his friend in the face. Shot Harry Whittington, a then 78-year-old Texas attorney. God. Now, here we go. That time, Dick Cheney shot his friend in the face, and the Texas man apologized for getting the shot and says it's all about Bush VP. The Texas man apologized for getting shot and says it's all about the Bush VP, Dick Cheney. Wow. So he apologized for getting shot in the face accidentally by Dick Cheney. Come on. This is like one of those crime stories where they go in and you know they did it. Their fingerprints are there and everything, and they start telling a story about, yeah, I was there and everything, but there was a man that came in and held a gun to my head, and he forced me to kill her and have sex with her and everything beforehand. I didn't know who he was, and then he killed her, and I was scared for my life and this and that and the other. Yeah, right. You accidentally shot your friend in the face hunting. So I'm just throwing it out there that this guy's been a part of the military-industrial complex forever. And if you know what George Bush is all about, then you know what Dick Cheney's all about. Oh, by the way, he accidentally shot his friend in the face. Can you think of anything more retarded than that? Like he doesn't know how to shoot a gun. Give me a break. God, the lies. Have you guys seen these baby things? It's called diaper diplomacy. They are freaking hilarious. I don't know how they do it, but they give them beards. They make them look just like the people, only they're babies. But this one, there they are again. They've been given, I guess, they've been given facelifts, all of them, as babies. They're babies. So we don't have to look at their old, wrinkled, frail, can't stand up, pot-bellied, boobs down to their waistline. Good God, these people are so deteriorated. No more kings, no more kings. Well, they just voted for a tyrant. The No More Kings crowd just voted for a tyrant in New York. No more kings unless they are Mamdani. No more kings, no kings, no kings, no kings, no. Medic, medic. How perfect is that? I'm not a king. I work my ass off. We can totally see that. He's not a king. He was working his ass off. God, boy. I'd really love to see the fire hoses brought out on those old people. The younger ones we could use the trash masher on. Hold them by their man buns and stick their faces just close enough to where they can feel the blades going by. That's all. Just to scare them. It's tough love. I don't want to hurt them or anything. I love these reaction shots that people do. That's why I'm doing them, is because I really like him. But he's got this look on like, what the fuck is going on? The mask is off. Mamdani is a madman, and his crazed victory speech is all the proof you need. Listen, as the bus driver, I just saw before I started making this video where they're interviewing the bus people, and they're saying there's not going to be any free bus rides. You know, like all this stuff that he's promising. He's never had a job. People, he's never had a job. Of course he's going to be out there like an idiot promising everything. The whole thing's doomed to collapse. But is it part of the plan? That's my question. People, if you're there, get out. I would say come to Florida, but that's where everybody's coming. And there's plenty of red states out there that are beautiful, beautiful places. And you'll be welcomed, especially the police. I like it how they're so in a bubble. They don't realize that massive numbers of people are not going along. They're so in a bubble that they think they're winning. Even when the littlest, teeniest micro thing happens, they think, oh, this is it. We're winning now. We're going to pull ourselves out of it. No, you're not. You're losing. The polls are fake. Did you not figure that out last election? Your polling is fake. It's there. This is why they do it, okay? This is why they tell the Democrats that they're doing better than they are and jack up their numbers, because they don't want them to lose faith, right? And at the same time, they want Republicans to get tired. They want to say, oh, this is getting close. I don't know if we're going to win. No, the polls are fake. In no way do those polls represent the real numbers. We are an overwhelming majority. But you're never going to see that in the fake polls. I don't believe any of them. I think they're all rigged. All of them, all of them, all of them. So I don't even look at polls. I don't consider them. His popularity has grown and grown and grown and grown and grown and grown, and theirs has declined, 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 declined. So how do you expect any poll to be close? Not only that, all their voters are being shipped out, the illegals. So, and voter laws are being put in place. So if it turns out that this guy Mamdani is cheated and his crew has cheated, don't flip out if they let it go on for a little while so they can fill the state up with all the people they need to surround it with, the military, and take them away and put them in Gitmo where they belong, on prison ships. God. I'm just putting this picture up because he looks like the demon that he probably is. He's probably got some kind of they've ceremoniously placed all these demonic energies in him, and that's the smile of winning. They think they won. They think they won something. And I don't know about you guys, but I've been following this whole thing, and my money is on no, they stupidly walked into another trap. And if you see these people who are voting for Mamdani, single-digit IQs. That's all I can say. They don't know why they voted for him. They were asking them questions like, why did you vote for him? And he seemed like the obvious choice. And they say, why? And then silence. Silence. And then suddenly they'll say, well, free everything. Yeah, to a mutant, that would be the obvious choice. To someone with even an ounce of knowledge, you would know that there's nothing free. Getting thick with stupidity up in here. So, yeah, look at that face. Look at that face. And Ronald Reagan probably did try to warn us about Devil Peanut Head. He's never had a job. Look at him. It looks like he woke up on Christmas morning and there was a whole bunch of babies there. He's ready to devour them. Lean in or lose Gen Z. That's exactly what I'm talking about. They don't know they're losing. Just like last time. They didn't know they were losing the election. Why? Because they were allowed to win. Because this thing is worse than we could ever imagine. On the one hand, I find a lot of these messages about our DNA and the upgrades that are happening, and I don't know if you guys can feel them, but you should be able to feel them even if you're not practicing any meditation or any grounding or anything like I am. You still should be able to feel like, great weakness at times. It seems like you just can barely move across the room, and all kinds of other things. Pineal glands being activated, just our whole DNA system being upgraded, and it causes a lot of weirdness in your body. And you might think you're getting sick or getting the flu or something. No, you're not. It's the DNA upgrades. So, yeah, this right here, lean in or lose Gen Z, that's their fantasy talking. That's their disassociation talking. Because if you were to look at a map of Republicans and a map of Democrats, you could probably fill the Democrats into a teacup. So, they have to give this appearance of a whole bunch of people supporting their bullshit. But think in your life, how many people that go around, how many of these trans people do you know? Okay? And I'm just gonna say this. There's trans people, and then there's elite gender conversions. And these elite gender conversions also have these NCPs that work for them. And I don't know where they're coming from, whether they're coming from hybrid programs under the ground. China has a whole clone army that came from the underground to be used against their own people. So these things, they're like rats, aren't they? They all look like malformed people. He's broke already. Nearly 1 million New Yorkers ready to flee New York City if Mamdani becomes mayor, possibly igniting the largest exodus in history. Pulse of this was uploaded before the election. But he's broke, okay? What was the first thing he did? He came out asking for money. He's never had a job. I just can't emphasize this enough. He's never had a job. And he comes from a collection of unemployable people. If you think this isn't going to self-implode, then you don't know anything about physics. You don't know anything about physics if you think this is going to work. And he's broke. And he's got Rashida Tlaib's pussy. One of her, apparently she has a box full of them and she gives them out to her best friends to put on their face. And they have a hard time making that man face. And I'm not sure what gender this thing is because beards don't mean anything anymore. Oh my God, help me. Okay, now switching topics, because I already told you what I think. It's a win-win-win-win, except for the people in New York. But it's a win-win for the people in New York who leave. I'll tell you, all the money, the people who are going to be taxed are going to leave. It's destined to fail. There's no way any of it's going to be successful. You've seen these frail, old, purple-haired. Anyway, speaking of crying, what happened to Mark Hamill? Fuck you, traitor. I blame you. You get removed from what? I hope you get removed from what? Nicki Minaj, who I have respect for because she was tweeting this stuff out. It was a long time ago. It was like in 2016, maybe even 2015. I've got all her tweets. She was tweeting out about clones. And look at the Mark Hamill. He talk about looking like something. He looks like something, he doesn't even look human anymore. So I don't even think it's Mark Hamill. I think it's another lizard. That's my opinion anyway. So now this verifies it. Right here. When you see them coming out like this verifies that they're part of it, and they have been part of it, and they are, cannibals, whatever, reptilians, cannibals, pedophiles, and they like adrenaline. Finally. And if you think all the judges are human, take a look at that. Take a look at that. See, the thing about this one is they can't hide their lizard expressions. That is a lizard face if I ever saw one. I'd like to see what he looks like under HD video. You remember when the whole AI pack turned into aliens? Turned into like a the scene in the Star Wars movie where they go to the bar. The whole AI pack turned into it because of HD. They can't be in HD. I don't think they can be recorded in HD because it shows what's underneath. This looks like what's underneath already. So there's definitely something wrong with him. And plus, he's not getting his food, is he? Horrible. He should be in prison or on a prison ship. Bye-bye. So, I don't even, this is Brian Maxwell. I like him. Real Politics Podcast. Deranged Democrat Jennifer Welch destroyed for attacking Christians. Well, this thing right here, I think it's hilarious. It looks like a man. Looks like a man. You look like a guy. You look like an ugly guy. And it's just a racist and everything else. She talks about white people, but I guess he hasn't looked in the mirror and seen that he's white. And I think it's on one of the Housewives thing. If so, I don't know why. It is ugly. Honey, go stick your face in a jar or something. Put it in a pot. What can we put over her head? Look at that dome. Look at those caterpillar eyebrows that are shapeless. Look at that witch face. Do you think he knows he's ugly and he's just acting ugly because he already knows he's ugly and he's not ever going to be good looking? So you might as well act like a bitch. I don't know. I usually call him postmenopausal, but this one doesn't have menopause, not with a dome like that. Look at the size of the skull. Look at that size, look at that, and look at that. But you could tell this is a woman. You could tell this is a hag and a psychopath. Really, this is one for the trash masher. Remember, I don't think we ought to put them in it, but grab them by the hair and stick their face right close to it. That's all. Just to say, shut up. Here's another picture of it. It's hideous. Hideous. Go back into the sea where you came from. This must be her son. Look at this gnome. It lives in a tree. It crawls back into its tree. They all are so dang ugly. She says, this was something that was on Gutfeld Friday night. And look at this sleazy, grotesque, little wormy, gnomey, toad-looking thing. God, you look like you need to go back to your tree and get some, maybe adrenodome or something, and fix yourself up, hon. Just look at these shoulders all hunched up like a little, what do you call those things? A goblin or something. Very unattractive, creepy-looking person. What she said was, I'm giving you an opportunity to explain the racism in your jean commercial. Of course, I could have thought of several things to say to her, like, I'm sorry you don't think black people have good genes. I'm sorry you don't think Hispanic people have good genes, but they do. They could have used a Hispanic in there. You know, they chose Sydney Sweeney for whatever reason. It wasn't, but they have to find racism. And she wants to keep it alive. Look at her. No, Sydney Sweeney said, when I want to talk about something, I do it. Crawl back into your tree, little goblin. You didn't get what you wanted to. Maybe there's some, like, toad fingers or something you can munch on while you're in there. I love this picture. Why? We actually probably didn't have a president in between the best president we've ever had. What was happening during this time? I'd really like to know. I think we are going to know. I think there's going to be books written and all kinds of stuff. I have a video of this kid talking, and it's not very long. I'm going to put it at the end of this video, and I'm sort of breaking mold here. I said I was going to do my viewer mail, but I'm going to do that in a separate video because it just would be better that way. So I'm going to go ahead and put this one together, this video, and then I'll start to work on the viewer mail because there's things I want to address and things I want people to know, and I want to also address my coffees. And all of you, you're just the best people I know. It's a shitty world until I get behind this microphone and interact with you guys. That's how I know there's good people out there. Plus, I go out to the store, and I hope you guys do it too, and try to interact with people who are, seem receptive. Because I think people are longing for human contact right now. And you can tell the people when you go out, they'll look at you and smile back and stuff like that. After this video, Max and I are signing off.
The particle accelerator altered the weight of one electron and therefore destroyed our universe and shifted us into the universe that's directly next to it. There's a fluctuation in our reality of actually things that are real to us but are different in other realities. There's a consistent fluctuation, and I think this fluctuation is known as Mandela effect.
This was happening in 2016. Shortly after this video went viral, the genius kid disappeared. No updates, no interviews, nothing. For years, the internet searched for answers. What happened to Max Lowen? The kid who said Cern broke reality. What you're about to hear next will change how you see everything. Just keep in mind, in 2008, Cern launched the Large Hadron Collider. And in 2009, people started noticing something strange. memories that didn't match reality.
What happened was we made this universe sort of out of balance, and our universe...
Because of the collider, the super collider?
Yeah, we altered the weight of a single electron, which I believe shifted us into a parallel universe. This is our original timeline, right? But as soon as this starts, we are infinitely catapulted into an infinite number of parallel universes.
In 2008, scientists at Cern launched the Large Hadron Collider, the most powerful particle accelerator ever built. It smashes atoms together at almost the speed of light, searching for the fundamental code of the universe. Some physicists even warned it could open microscopic black holes or distort space-time itself. And then, barely a year later, something even stranger happened. Thousands of people began remembering Nelson Mandela, dying in prison in the 1980s, but he actually died in 2013. Entire groups shared the same false memory. Soon after, a large segment of the population started noticing the same thing. Logos, movie lines, and even historical events remembered differently than they actually were.
So the original universe is mirror, mirror on the wall.
Mirror, mirror on the wall.
Transferred to universe is magic mirror on the wall.
Magic mirror on the wall. Who is the fairest one of all?
So we are now not in the same universe that we were in when Mirror, Mirror on the Wall was a part of a film.
Well, that's what I'm theorizing, yeah.
So we're in a different universe.
Exactly. Infinite number of zeros, 1% difference.
Right.
And that 1% difference is large on our scale.
After this video, Max appeared again, this time giving a presentation where he talked about a device he had built.
Everything is just a frequency of energy. All of the energy in the universe is already here. It just needs to be transferred into a form in which you can use it. I had finished creating a device that takes wasted electromagnetic energy from all around us and converts it into electrical. Voila! Free energy.
Well, this is a sensitive topic. Free energy. I don't know if Max's device actually worked or not, but I do know one thing. After years of research for this channel, I've come across countless stories of people who claim to invent similar zero-point or free energy devices. And almost every time, they were ridiculed, silenced, or simply disappeared from the public eye. And honestly, it's not hard to see why. Just think about it. A working device like this could threaten entire industries overnight. After all this came silence. For the next 3 years, Max went completely quiet. So did his family. Nothing was posted on social media until April 22nd, 2020, when a message suddenly appeared on Max's Facebook page. I like to build things. I want to change the world and make it a better place. I also hope to inspire. I searched all over the internet, and Max is alive. Thank God. But even so, that long silence is hard to ignore. Maybe he said something that wasn't supposed to be public. Let's take a closer look at what he actually said in that video, because it's surprisingly interesting.
Universes and infinite parallel universes constantly being created is literally flow of reality and time as we know it. So, technically, there's a universe in which God can exist, right? So, like, as your book suggests, God is everything because of E = mc squared. Literally, God is within and can be everything.